One of the biggest signs that you are growing as a person is that you find yourself slowly becoming the person that younger you would have felt safe with, and somebody you can actually be proud of and look up to, and not the version of you that people told you to become or wanted you to become. For some people, their childhoods were amazing and there's no trauma attached to that, and most people would say that is normal. But for others, they had responsibilities put on them. They learned to problem solve and manage emotion and carry other people's burdens, like family members and their parents, before they were even old enough to understand them. And growing up too fast does have a lasting impact on people. When you are forced to have a ton of responsibilities from a very young age, you don't always get the luxury of being carefree. You become very observant, independent, and you adapt this mindset of only relying on yourself, because at that point that is the only option you had. And that then creates adults that struggle to ask anybody for help, who feel immense guilt for simply resting, who are very, very selective with who they allow into their energy, and is very quick to also cut people off, because that mindset you adopted makes you feel like you don't really need anybody. And that comes across as a person who is very distant and maybe cold, but actually it's just somebody who has been conditioned that they cannot afford to be that dependent on anybody else. And trust me, something I also needed to come to terms with is that hyper independence isn't always strength. For years, I thought that me not needing anybody else was me just being very strong as a person. I thought that being able to do everything myself was something to be very proud of. And I'm not saying that it's a negative thing. You should be able to do things for yourself. But it's that key factor that realizing that hyper independence is normally just a survival skill. Me refusing help, not opening up to anybody, feeling safer or more in control when I handle things myself, and having that deep-rooted thought in the back of my head that people are eventually going to disappoint me in one way or another. And this has happened a lot, where a trigger would come up if you ask somebody to do something and they don't do it immediately, or they forgot and need a reminder. Automatically my first instinct is, you know what, sorry I even asked, just leave it, I'll just do it myself. And I had to force it into my brain to say, like, not everybody is going to let you down, not everybody has bad intentions towards you. The real skill here isn't just automatically shutting everybody out, it's just learning who deserves what type of access. So in building that, you then start to discern what people in my life make me feel at ease and I can trust them with things, and just simply weeding out the people with the red flags, the bad decisions, those who make you feel stressed or anxious, people you can't trust with personal things. Or you can ask and just to phone them and say, listen, I need you to come house sit, and you know everything will be taken care of. You just need to start evaluating people's actions. So watch the patterns, the consistency, and the actions that they show you. Trust isn't built by what people promise, it's what people repeatedly do. When somebody repeatedly shows you that warning signs, stop trying to fix them, stop trying to investigate why, stop trying to earn better treatment from them. Just believe what you're seeing and take it as fact, because that is very important for where you are going. Because if you are becoming the best version of yourself and trying to get rid of your toxic or patterns that are unhealthy towards you and your inner child, you cannot have people around you that doesn't fit that criteria in becoming who you need. So once you have identified what the younger version of yourself needed, whether that's somebody who believed in them, stood up for them, someone who reminded them that they were enough. So examples of that is, if you needed protection, learn to have boundaries. If you needed encouragement, speak life into yourself. You can't be here talking down on your dreams and you as a person. If you needed more stability, build better routines and make sure that you take care of yourself. And if you needed more love, learn to give it to yourself first. Because I always preach to people that you cannot have a boyfriend, a husband, friends, whoever. If you don't love yourself, there will always be something missing or something that happens that causes you to fall out with people. Because a lack of self-love can turn into envy and jealousy and you sabotaging things that could potentially also be good for you. Please remember that you may never get the childhood that you wanted, and you may also never get an apology that you deserved or get answers to why you were treated a certain way, whatever the situation is. I think the best apology is you fixing that for yourself.